how do you shade a tattoo? All right. When you first start, it can become daunting, can't it? So, shading. Until you learn the skills, you look at work and think, wow, how do you make the black bits black? How do you get that smooth transition from the dark to the light? When you're looking at portraits and there's all the features of the face, some light shaded areas, dark ones, but buttery smooth. Or if somebody's got a bit of stubble, that texture, or if they've got rough skin. It's all done with different techniques of shading, different needle choices and different methods and movements with the machine. There's a lot to think about, isn't there? Now, I've said this in every single video. When you first start, you kind of want to know everything all at once. And I understand that. It's exactly what I did when I first started, but there is a quicker way and a more efficient way. The first shading technique that I think a beginner should learn, one, because I think it's the easiest to achieve a good result, so it builds the confidence up and allows you to start shading designs in to a good level right in the first couple of weeks of tattooing. And that's what we call whip shading. You'll understand why it gets that whip name in just a moment. Some call it flick shading. There's various different names, but I've always referred to it as just whip shading. Now, there's brush shading, there's circular motions, there's cross-hatching, there's all different variations of shading. Like I say, I don't want you to overwhelm yourself at the beginning. It doesn't need to be. We need to keep things simple when we're first learning. So whip shading gets its name because of the movement, the action that you take. It can be done with a lining needle, creating stipple effect. It can be done with a round shader. It can be done with a magnum. Same technique with any of the needles creates a totally different result. But it is the movement that we're referring to. It is the method of tattooing. Doesn't matter about the design. In fact, I always recommend that we start with just like boxers and whip shade them in. Don't matter about the design. It's about understanding the technique, and that's what I'm going to advise you do as well. So let's just say this is the skin, the first layer, second layer underneath, and then this is the no-go zone, the third layer that we never want to go into. If you don't understand that, then this video really isn't at the stage that you should be watching. Go back to other videos, learning how to set up, understanding skin, setting your machine up, understand all the basics before you should ever even hold a machine. Now, the reason why it's called whip shading is, let's just say we were tattooing, so this is the skin looking at it from a side view. This is the surface of the skin. On the surface, we're wanting this area to be dark, and then as we get over here, we're wanting it to be like almost just skin. So dark and then getting lighter, lighter, lighter to nothing. Now, if you break down any tattoo, don't matter how realistic it is or anything, that is what it's going to consist of. Dark areas, light areas, transitions between the two. That's it in its simplest form. So what we do is we enter the skin, get to the correct depth into this second layer, and then we whip out. So we could do, if we're wanting this to be dark and this to be light, we can travel that full distance. Or if the area was shorter and we just wanted to go from dark to light here, you put in, and it's a shorter whip, you put in, shorter whip. Now, typically you would do it going away from you. Don't worry, I'm going to explain all this visually on the mats as well with the machine and do some demonstrations so it fully sinks in. But a lot of people prefer learning visually looking at a diagram first, and then we'll also do physically doing it. And if you've got your station set up, you can follow along because everybody learns different. So we're going in the skin, but if you watch the pen, as I move away, it's naturally lifting up at the same time if I'm using my fingers. So it does this job for you almost. If I was pulling towards me, it then does the opposite, which you can do that, but then you're going in like this to the darkest point. Both work. I don't really ever use the pulling towards me. If I was to twist my hand, I would then do it the opposite way. Again, I'm going to explain on mats. But this is the method of shading, going from dark to light. You don't typically use this if you wanted to block all a square in, say all dark. This is not typically the method that you would use. This is more for going from dark to light, all right? So shading, getting a gradual tone, a gradual blend between dark and light. It's not rocket science. It's easy to understand. It's more difficult to get a smooth end result. It takes time, it takes patience and dedication to become proficient at it. But if you stick to doing the drills and don't overcomplicate anything, it is really, in my opinion, the best method to start with as a beginner. So we're gonna jump on mats. I'm gonna show you with the machine so you can either watch, take notes, or if you've got your setup, follow along with the video, and we're gonna learn whip shading. Finally, we're learning the techniques that every amazing artist uses to get that buttery, soft shading from dark to light. Now, in today, we're gonna use whip shading, which is one of the techniques. Skins mat, Bishop Power Wand. I'm using a 3514 RS shading needle. We've got as rinse cup, as ointment, as dynamic black, a few wipes pre-pulled out just to make life easier. And then you need this squares template again today. So I've just got this one for demonstration purposes. But we're gonna be doing whip shading. Now, I've already showed you on the board, we're gonna be going in the skin and then whipping up. So tapering out of the skin, but at the same time, increasing speed. I'm gonna show you some dry ones. So I'm gonna do these boxes above the ones where we were showing the packing. What I also do, and this is vital, is if you can use your stretching hand that would be stretching the skin. So the whip technique is the perfect technique for one specific job. If we want a dark at the bottom and then getting lighter, that's what the whip technique is for. It's not the best technique if you're just wanting one consistent blend. All right? Whereas from dark to light, perfect. So as we go in the skin and we're slower, as we whip out of the skin, and the combination of going faster and leaving the skin is what makes it light. And what we want to do is work his way across, so go in the skin and whipping out, like so. We should, and we're going to obviously show you in a second, be dark here, and then as it comes up, it's going to be lighter. Now you have got to move with confidence. So if you're a really slow artist and that's not going to create the same effect because you're not picking speed up and you're not leaving the skin. So let me just give you a few demonstrations. Now you've got to rely on the natural curve of the hand. As you move forward with the fingers, look, the machine is naturally lifting up. And if I reach right out, I can't keep it on the mat unless I move all my hand. Okay? So we use that pendulum motion that lifts the machine up just naturally to our benefit. And with this stretching hand that's on the mat, I'm gonna pull the skin down as if I were doing a person, or in between your fingers. I'm gonna use the pull down method just so the cameras can see what we're doing. And then I rest on that hand, or if it were a 3-4 point stretch, then you're resting on the skin. But I'm going to pull down, and then I'm going to use that as like a base point here, and then just whip up. And it naturally comes out of the skin at the same time anyway. So we can see that it goes from dark and gets lighter. Now, what we can also do is change the length. So you can see it's a little bit longer at this side than it is at that side. So we can either come out of the skin pretty quick and do really short whips. Like so. So it's dark and it gets lighter a lot quicker. Or we can space it out . and do a longer blend, and then the dark bit would just make sure it's nice and dark. But can you see, it's the exact same technique, but this is a really long one, really short one, bit of a medium one. And we can do that in any direction, but we mainly use this method when it's from dark to light. All right? So what I want you to do is, you've got all your squares empty. Do some from bottom to top. Do some short ones, do some long ones. Now, bear in mind, we're just using solid black ink. So we're getting a nice grade from dark to light, different lengths, just using black ink. We can get an even smoother result later when we start using all the different grey washes, but this is just black ink, and yet we can create different shades. The other method is, you've got to be pushing away from you. When you're pulling towards you, this is really important. If I start out here with my hand at that angle, as I pull, it's not coming out of the skin. It's actually getting deeper. So you've got to bring the hand up. Hopefully this camera can see it nice and clear. So we're more upright, and then we do the opposite, but now, because we've started from the upright position, as I twist my hand, look, it naturally comes up and out of the skin. If I do it in this position and pull towards me, it naturally goes even deeper instead of up and out. So just practice that hand movement whilst you're actually watching this video, because it'll make a lot more sense. So just have your machine as if you're doing it forwards, and then move to the top and pull it towards you. It goes deeper, doesn't it? Now twist up and then pull towards you. It now lifts up out of the skin again. Be better seeing it on the other camera. So that's lifting out of the skin, whereas if I'm pulling towards me from this angle, it's going deeper. So bear that in mind. And what I want you to do is as many rows as possible. Again, don't get fixated on the needle. I'm using a 14, you can use a 5, a 7, a 9, a 14, whatever shading needles you've got. Have a play and a practice with them all. These lessons are to teach you how to tattoo, not use this particular needle. That's not teaching you how to tattoo. These methods and techniques you've got to learn with any needle. So do some pushing away, all the different sizes. Do some long ones, do some short ones. Then from the top, let's pull some towards us. Again, getting from dark to light, the opposite way around. You can also go from light to dark. So once you get used to it, you'll notice that you're going in and out at the same time a lot quicker, look. So rather than just going in and whipping up, you can also whip in, so you're gradually getting deeper in. The same basically, but in reverse. And then once you've mastered the two side by side, you literally in and out of the skin, and it looks like you're going really quick, but it's to get the same effect. So what I want you to do is think about the methods that I've said. I'll just quickly go over them one last time. You've got the whipping away from you. Having the hand in the position where it naturally comes out of the skin. You've also got in the same position, rather than going in and out, start out and come in. So the same in reverse. Gives the exact same effect, but just going the opposite way. Takes some getting used to that hand movement. Then you've got tilting the hand so it's more upright and whipping towards you. Then you've also got, naturally, the reverse of that. Just depends on the situation and where you are. Yeah. So you've got all these tiny boxes. Get as many done as you want, whipping in. Again, don't worry too much about it being in the box. It's the technique that we want to master. Later on in future lessons, we're going to be learning how to get right into little corners and doing the fine stuff, but these techniques, so if we wanted to shade from that up, quite a long shade, you can see there I'm using the in and, so going forward and going in reverse as well. But you can see it going from dark to nothing, and you can drag that out even more. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. Do as many squares as you can. Spend a good bit of time on this one, because honestly, this skill you're going to use on almost every tattoo that you do.